I'm Marissa Lindsay, and I am the SSW for the Storefront and Safe Haven programs.
What is the Storefront Safe Haven program for people who don't know?
Storefront works mainly with people who are currently homeless and help them get back on their feet, find housing, get their mental health in order, and hopefully the goal is to discharge them and they can go on living kind of a normal life. Safe Haven is permanent supportive housing for people who need supportive housing or who have been homeless and are mentally ill enough that they need that extra supportive case management therapy on site. I do have several clients that they've been chronically homeless and their children are experiencing homeless too. So I think people who experience the mental illness and the difficulties that our clients have had in life, that's something that passes on to their children. They don't have the resources and things to pass on to their kids. Like I grew up in a middle class family, and even though we didn't have everything growing up, those benefits that I experienced growing up, some of these people don't have, and they don't have the tools and things to succeed in life, right?
So what brought you to this line of work? Was it education or?
It was kind of an accident almost. So I graduated with my BSW, so Bachelor's of Social Work, in 2020, right as everything started happening. I actually didn't get a walk. They canceled graduation and all that. But before that, I worked at bridal stores. I was like a manager at 3 different bridal stores, and then I worked at the Shane Company down on State Street. And then I had known for years that I wanted to be a therapist and I wanted to work with children, okay? So when I signed up for my internship with my BSW, I was looking all over for anything working with children, but my schedule was limited because I have kids of my own. So I was trying to find something that I could do at nights or maybe on the weekends. I gave the school my list of places and they picked the road home for me. So I sort of got placed with the homeless community on accident and I fell in love with it. So I worked at Palmer Court, which is similar to Safe Haven. It's a supportive housing development close to North Valley. And I just love this population and I found something that I wasn't looking for, I guess. And with Safe Haven, I was looking for a job that I could work nights and weekends. So I started out as a PRN case manager and then switched to full-time in April case manager, and then I just got my SSW license in November and switched to an SSW.
So you went from wanting to work with kids to finding your calling working with the unsheltered population. And
yeah.
That's amazing.
And I may still end up going in that direction eventually, but I'm really happy where I'm at now and I'm comfortable and feel like I'm doing good work here. So
the folks here I met Rudy last week. And he was just an awesome person. And you could tell that he's really happy with where he's at right now. And it's not always that easy, though. It's not always you have somebody who spent a few years on the street and then everything's better. But what drives you and the people that work here to keep doing this day after day and coming back? And it's, like we said, not an easy situation. Sometimes you see people at their absolute lowest moments in their lives.
No, we totally do. And you're right, it's hard to come back and not really see those success stories a lot. Like if we had stuff like that happen all the time, like we probably would have more attention and staff, right? But for me, like just being there for people in those moments is worth it to me. A lot of our clients don't have anybody left in their lives. Everyone who's loved or cared for them either has abandoned them or can't deal with the mental health struggles or the substance abuse things that they have going on. And so to be someone in our client's life that is reliable and constant is rare for them. So the clients are what bring me back every day. I really care for my clients and I want to make sure I'm doing everything I can on my part. And then obviously they have to do the rest, right?
One of the things I like to ask people who are doing what you're doing is inevitably you can have a conversation with somebody where what you do for a living comes up. What do you find people find most surprising about what you do? There's always that moment where somebody goes, what, really?
That probably came up more so when I was a case manager. Now it's like, an SSW, I kind of have a different role. I think even just saying, yeah, I work with the homeless in Salt Lake City. People are like, oh, really? What's that like? And they don't understand the struggles that these people face every day. Like, they are unable to find a safe place to camp because they keep getting moved. Their belongings get thrown away. Like, people don't understand that, what's happening to these people in our city. And I think some people are surprised by my passion about letting people be where they are. And like, I feel like we'd want to hide the fact that we have homeless people in our society, and we do, and people don't want to see it, or talk about it. It's like, it makes people uncomfortable.
Well, it does. And sometimes it makes them feel kind of guilty.
Right. And people don't want to feel that way. So they feel like if they can hide the problem, that they don't have to feel those feelings or try to fix the problem because it's a societal problem, right? It's not just their problem. It's our community's problem.
When I was talking with Carmela last week, she told me something that I'd never, ever known in my life, in that most of the unsheltered population is very active at night because they have to keep moving to stay safe.
Yeah, they sleep a lot during the day and then are more active at night. But also, most people don't know that the majority of homeless people are not the mentally ill or the substance abuse people. The population that we work with, of everyone that's homeless in a given year, is only like 10 to 15%. And they're the chronically homeless, right? Most people do move on. They go back to normal life. The population we work with are the kind that almost won't ever be able to go back.
Right. We're in community-facing healthcare. And do you find that the situation with homelessness in Utah has been getting progressively worse since COVID came along?
It seems that way. I mean, I think part of the problem is before the road home closed a couple of years ago, they had a certain number of beds, and then they closed the road home and opened like 3 different shelters, but they were, between the 3, had like 200 or 300 fewer beds.
Mm-hmm.
So even though they built this new nice resource center and they have these places for people to go, there aren't as many beds for people. So I think it has gotten worse. I don't know if it's COVID related necessarily, but I know that I've seen more people on the streets, and we're experiencing more of that just from what I've observed, like driving around the city too.
There seems to be more camps, and they're larger.
Yes, yeah.
So if people want to learn more about helping the homeless, not just in our community, but elsewhere, where would you direct somebody to be able to help out, whether in whatever way?
Well, I think donations are always helpful. They need warm coats and blankets, socks, like those hand warmers you can get. But I also think that we need to, as a community, come together and reach out to our representatives. And we need to let them know that it's important that we take care of this. We need affordable housing. There needs to be more places for people to stay. Right now, even just regular apartments, the prices have gone up so much that like nobody, even people with good jobs and without the mental health issues, without the substance abuse issues, they're unable to afford a regular apartment. How can we expect people experiencing like schizophrenia and different things that are impacting their lives in a way that they're unable to work? Can we expect them to find places to stay if regular people can't afford to live in a city?
Yeah, when the rents are higher than anything even Social Security could help out with.
Right. We just need to make affordable and subsidized housing a priority.
Awesome.
Instead of building like more luxury condos or whatever they've got going on right now.
Marissa, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Yep.